Hello, Mental Health Monday family. So good to have you here with us this evening. We are so excited that you guys are here and to talk about mental health topics about women. We're excited about it. We did men for several weeks, and now we're going to be talking about what that looks like for women. So, welcome, Dr. White. Good to see you as always.
Hello, Sister Tante, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Yes, thank you. It was a great Mother's Day too. It was actually attended a wedding of
Oh,
some
nice.
dear friends whose son he grew up with our younger girls. Like we've known him since he was like 4 or 5 years old. And it was a beautiful way to spend Mother's Day. Didn't just spend my whole day doing that, but that was a part of my day. And
Sure.
that was fun and got a lot of love from the children and my husband
Oh,
and
that's
my
awesome.
moms. And so, yeah, it was great.
And
Yes,
grandchildren.
it was great.
Yeah.
So, want to again say welcome to everyone again. And I'm sure you had a great time with Nurse Florence yesterday, celebrating her as a mother.
Well, celebrating her was positioning her to head back to her mother and do a surprise visit on the East Coast.
Oh, she did a surprise
Yeah.
visit.
So it was really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
So exciting. So exciting for her.
Good stuff.
Please, yes, put in the chat, everyone, where you are viewing from. We want to say a special welcome to you. Let us know if this is your first time. And we're going to ask that you do us a favor and share this program. Share it on your social media, share it with friends, share it with your girlfriends, with your guy friends, and say, hey, this is going to help you understand your wife a little bit better and be able to support her as well. So share it with everyone that you know. And please like the program and subscribe if you have not already subscribed to the My Living Manna channel that you are watching on. So, yes, we just again want to say welcome to all of you. All right. Women's mental health. And guys, please put in the chat. I really do want to see where you're viewing from. We want to say welcome to you. So please, if you're scrambling around now to find where to put, all right. Well, thank you, Clint. I thought of you. I was like, Clint hasn't even said hello to us yet. Hi, Clint.
Shout
Thank you,
out to Clint.
Clint.
Shout out to Clint.
Thank you. And Courtney. Clint, I know you're in Texas. Courtney, I'm not sure where you are, but welcome. Oh, is that okay? No, hi, y'all. Okay, hi.
Longview, Texas. Am I right?
Longview, Texas.
Longview,
Yes,
Texas.
I
That's
spent a
right,
lot
Clint.
of.
You don't even have to say it anymore.
We already know where you are, Clint.
Unless he moved.
Yeah, and like yeah, if you move, we'll be like, oh no, Clint's somewhere else.
Yeah.
But yes, the rest of you, please put in the chat where you're viewing from and share this on your social media. Like I was talking before we went live, Dr. White, you know, we're talking about women and their mental health because we just have things that we go through that are different than what men go through. And just like what we learned these last few weeks, that men go through things that women don't necessarily go through. And so we want to talk about it. But again, invite the men too, because they need to hear on how they can support the women in their life. It's so very important. And I see that we have Alfreda, Georgia. All right, welcome from Georgia and from Kentucky. Good to see you all here this evening. As I was looking through, Dr. White, some of the points or some of the things that women go through, I resonated with it so well. And I know you were probably like, oh, okay, these are the topics. I don't personally resonate with this. Maybe some of them, maybe none of them, maybe, or I don't know. But that's kind of how I felt with some of the things for men, what you guys go through in your mental health, how we show up or how we're treated in this space called society is very different. And it brings its different mental health issues for men and for women. They look different. But yeah.
No, it was cool stuff, and I'm sure we're gonna jump into it. But
Yeah, we're about to
yeah,
jump into it now.
yeah.
We appreciate everyone sharing. You can continue to share your location and also share your location and share this link as well. So, one of the top things that women go through that men absolutely don't have they don't understand it at all, are at a certain age. And for women, we have to get to, well, let me back up. Because even though there's a certain age, and yes, I'm at that age, so I understand it very well right now, that once we get older and our childbearing years are in behind us, then the hormonal things that are happening in women's bodies are something they've never experienced before. That definitely can be a time where a woman who has never experienced mental health issues, maybe depression, maybe anxiety, can definitely fall into that slump. Not necessarily because of things out in the world, but what's actually happening inside of her body. The hormonal changes can do that. But I mean, of course, there's things that you can do to make that better and to help balance that. But a lot of times, women don't necessarily know what's going on, because from a young age, in your mid 20s, 30s, you start hearing about perimenopause or menopause, or they start talking, if you haven't had children yet, your clock is ticking, all these type of things that they tell women when you see a medical professional. But you still don't know, you haven't experienced that. So you don't know what it's like to have a hot flash or have trouble sleeping because your body's hormones are just not balanced. All different types of the moodiness, all of those things you go through. But younger women, and from our younger years, we do know what hormones do to us on a monthly basis. So all of that can affect a woman's mental health. And I love it, Dr. White. You're just shaking your head like, yeah, I've heard about that, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, what's interesting is patients come in, and women's issues can be at times, I must say, challenging. Meaning take so I'm a psychiatrist, but
right. I know that.
but it's not just so when you're dealing with depression, let's say in a woman now, though, it's like you have to take into account, well, where are you in your cycle? And
Got you.
have you noticed it worsening, with your cycle, or being brought on by your cycle, or around the time of your cycle?
Right.
So it's you as opposed to if you were just talking to a guy and they're less hormonal impact.
Oh yeah.
It's important to, of course, factor in the hormonal cycle. It's profound in mental health.
It really is. Because sometimes, I mean, women will go through, they'll be fine for, more than half of the month, for most of the month. And then there's this time of the month where it's like, I'm so anxious and I'm so depressed and I'm having these crying spells. And then they pass after 5-7 days, and it typically is, their cycle definitely, or me and my husband get in these huge arguments once a month around this time. It can be that. And so learning how to deal with those things in a healthy way. And of course, I was going to say, we're not medical doctors. Actually, Dr. White is a medical doctor. I am not a medical doctor. I'm just talking from, experience and what happens to women in healthy ways to be able to do that, or to be aware of that. And it fluctuates. For some women, it's not so bad. For some women, it's absolutely horrible.
I got a question for you, though.
Yeah, go ahead. I figured you would.
My question for you is, what helped? And what helped, would you say, as you were dealing with these fluctuations and this kind of stuff?
Right. So besides just being aware, so that when you are starting to feel off, you actually take more self-care for yourself, when the hormones are you're more sensitive to things. You're a little bit more on edge, and the things that you want to say to your husband that you don't normally say, you know what I mean? You're just more, this is the truth. If anybody can like testify that I'm telling the truth, put a one in the chat. You feel all of those things. So that's when you know that you need to actually not put yourself in situations where you're very stressed. Like you want to make your stress load as light as possible. But of course, you're a mom, so you have kids. So you can't just like put them on the back burner. If you could work outside the home and you have your job. So you have to just do the very best that you can do. But what also helps is exercise. Exercise helps during that time, even though you don't feel like it, but maybe not a hard exercise, but a light walk, or, definitely getting your proper rest, going to bed on time. You have to have, because your hormones are out of whack, you have to do almost everything that you should be doing to have a healthy body and mindset. You have to be more intentional during that time to balance what the hormones are doing. So yeah. That definitely helped. But I wanted to say this too. When I said taking self-care for yourself, not just, physically, and maybe just doing something that you like to do, relaxing, but also, it's that time of the month. You're going to be tempted, but don't talk about a topic that's normally going to typically turn into an argument with your spouse, because you're going to be more emotional about it. You're just that. You're going to be more emotional about it. And when you're more emotional, you may not deliver what you're really trying to say in the healthiest way, or he's not going to listen because it was just way too much emotion for him to be able to hear it. So be mature enough and smart enough to like park that conversation until the cycle is finished. That was helpful. I had to learn that too. When to talk about things and when not to talk about things. See, I got one. Look at all these ones in the chat, and they're laughing because it's true. They know what I'm talking about. So yeah, when it comes to that, and then that's like during the regular part of a woman's life. I said a regular part, the younger years. And then when you get to the more mature years, after the childbearing time is starting to wind down, the perimenopause and the menopause is a whole nother beast of like hormones and emotions. And that is really for you and your doctor to talk about, but do a lot of research too. But also those things that I mentioned before is the same thing, but it's so new. Like definitely take a deep dive. Women that are in that age range, and that can always fluctuate, really take a deep dive in your mid 30s. They say perimenopause actually starts like in your mid 30s. But just take that deep dive so you're educated, so that when you go and talk to your doctor, you're going to know exactly, you're going to listen to what they have to say, and then you can make a very informed decision on how you guys are both going to work towards balancing your hormones to bring you into this new season of life. Because even women who are going through marriages suffer during this time too, significantly. This is a huge, huge time. This is probably that I've talked the most, and Dr. White has talked the least. But I do want to say this. We're not just talking. We want to take your questions and your comments in today's topic. And we're going to get to some other things. These are not the only reasons why women have mental health issues. It's not just because of our hormones. By far, that's not it. But this is one thing that it's real. It's real. We can have hormonal, I want to say, mental health things that we deal with because of our hormones, but there's obviously other things as well. What are your thoughts, Dr. White, about what I've said?
Well, it's funny how this will test if I was paying attention. Well,
you're going to be like me last week.
No. I mean, I don't know if I have the courage to be as honest, but no, I was listening though. But like you talked about managing, because that's what you're really saying is like manage the symptoms, have some awareness, and then jump ahead of it and plan accordingly. And you're like, avoid certain conversations, and all that's helpful. And I'm wondering to myself, the one of the worst things you could say to a woman, so guys,
Oh,
just please don't do it, man. Don't do it. Like
please
one of the
don't.
worst things you could say um, is is alluding to her emotional irregularity as being due to her menstrual cycle. Like that, is it correct that that's like the worst thing you could say?
The worst thing to say.
Yeah.
That's
So
like throwing cold water on a cat. Don't
yeah.
say that.
So
The
don't
cat's gonna be like,
say that.
"Rrr." Okay, so don't say that.
Right. And so that I think that's an important thing though, because I think some guys would just be inclined to be like, "Hey, are you in your cycle or something like that?" And then it's like, "Okay, you just made it way worse. You just made it way worse." What would be a better way to handle that, would you think?
Yeah, don't say anything. I was just gonna say, don't say anything, but take note. You can mentally know that your wife is on her cycle, so you change maybe your behavior during that time. Just make it easier for everyone, for
Our,
her
our
and for
executive
yourself,
producer,
huh?
our executive producer said, "Our husbands probably shouldn't talk during that week either." LOL.
That too, or just be extra kind and sweet to her. Be like, "Oh, do you want me to massage your feet, or do you need a back rub, or I can run you a bubble bath, or you know what? Let me do that. I'll do that." Be extra nice. Like she will love you, and you'll be like looking like you're like just amazing, and you're just being smart. You're just being smart. So you can make mental note and just know, like you could literally track. I mean, if you're a wise man and a husband, you will learn like, okay, you need to know when your wife is on her cycle, because again, you're going to pivot and be like, all right, she's going to be a little bit more tired. She doesn't feel the best. So let me just try to make it as easier for her.
Well,
It's very
the
loving.
and there's the added nuance of pre. Like, I mean, one thing is like the menstrual, but the
Right.
other part is the pre. So
Pre.
it's
Yeah.
almost like it'll sneak up and just surprise. And
No, it's
so,
not a surprise. Well, wasn't a surprise.
well, no, I mean, like, I mean, it's like sometimes, like when it's pre, it's like, wait a second, because it's not like it announces itself. It's just a sudden notice that you're just more emotional. At least I've experienced this with
Right,
my
right.
daughter
It
and
doesn't announce itself
right.
to you. Yeah, this is why, women keep calendars, or sometimes now this I'm saying keep calendars, and you can see I'm so much older. Now all these young girls, they have it on an app. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is my app reminded me of this and that." And I'm like, "Wow, I didn't have all that." But, it tells you everything. So I feel like husbands, and I'm sure I kind of far from this time in my life, but I'm sure somebody has created an app, or you can get something from the app too, where you're like, this is, man, okay, let me not give ideas away. Cause if somebody hasn't created it, I think I should create it for the men. This would save a lot of marriages, a lot of arguments. So yeah, you need to have, understanding and timing, understand the timing of the month that it is. And truly, wow, we're really going deep here. You're right about the pre. So really you have a good 2.5 weeks that there's no major hormonal things going on. And then getting closer to that third week, the hormones start dipping and flying and doing their thing. So at that point is when you really want to start to be extra nice.
Right. The rest of the time you can be as mean as you want, but during that time, no,
Don't be mean
don't be
either,
mean
but
at all.
be nice
Don't,
all the time, and
but being
then at
extra
that
nice.
time be extra extra nice. I like Deborah's comment. She says, "We always hear men are stronger vessels, but with all the things women have to go through, would you say women are mentally and emotionally stronger than men?" Absolutely. I don't know if Dr. White would say that, but I
In
do.
areas, in areas, there are
Well,
like
no, yeah. I mean,
in areas, yeah.
you guys seem to, and it depends on the man, but pretty much you guys seem to lock in and be like, all right, this is the problem. You guys are like this. All I'm seeing is the
Oh,
problem. This is how we're
oh.
going to fix it. For women, we're like, oh, okay, well, we can, our mind is, we're looking at the problem, but we're kind of
Did you consider
sometimes,
this? And did you consider that? And did you
exactly.
consider this?
And
And
then And
Yeah.
our emotions get thrown in there. Like you guys will like lock down those emotions and just kind of focus like, nope, you just had no like just tunnel vision just to see that. But I would say that. But I do get her point though. Like you guys don't have to deal with the hormones. You don't have to overcome the things that are going on. Well, you do have, let me tell you, I take that back. You do have to overcome things going on in your body, but not in the same way. Like,
No.
I mean, Eve just she did a number on us. That's all I want to say. We
Oh my
bear the
goodness.
children. We deal with the hormonal changes every month. It's a lot. And at the same time, we don't just bear the children, but we do a lot for
Nurture.
those children just to get them to a stage where they can be a little bit more independent. And women do all of that with the
'Cause
hormonal changes. So we're fighting like emotions. We're having to train these little people. Not that fathers don't train their children as well, but the life of a mother. We just celebrated Mother's Day, so there's a reason. I mean, there's Father's Day too, but there's a reason why it's like, wow, we do a lot, and the emotions, and we have to fight these hormones and everything. We're really sticking on this part of the topic. Your
Father
thoughts?
Father's
I'm
Day is a
hijacking it. You
fa-
share your thoughts.
Father's Day is a tie. Mother's Day is an event.
It is an event. It is an event.
I mean it. I mean, and I think there's a reason for that. Everything that we're talking about, the complexity, the difficulty, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
just it's just very interesting. But so yeah, that's why, Deborah. It's like I hesitate to say I I really champion valuing each contribution.
Yeah, of
But
course.
I think it's important. We are pausing to celebrate what women go through
Mm-hmm.
and gain some spotlight it, because it's often not discussed enough. The
No.
complex nature of how to support the women you love. How do you support them?
Yeah.
What are they going through? You know, um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we always think about that as much as we should.
No, yes, no. I know a good husband, not that you're not good husbands, but you're for the you guys might be being good husbands, but I should not say a good husband. A very wise husband would learn the time of the months where his wife is experiencing those hormonal changes. And you'll be doing a good service for yourself because life will be so much easier for you too if
Right.
you're making her life easier during that time. So do that always, but then take an extra deep dive during that time.
And because I think this can be extended to always calculate when you're approaching your spouse. Always calculate. Like I think there's so many arguments that are so needlessly explosive because you didn't pause to ask yourself, is this a good time?
Mm-hmm.
Where is she from a mental standpoint, from a physical standpoint, from a hormonal? Like we don't pause enough to ask that. And this goes back to one of my mantras. I don't say the first thing that comes to mind, or the second, or the third, or I don't necessarily have to, I don't have to solve that issue right this instant. It's such a myth that
Right.
as soon as you see something, you have to address it.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend shut up. Just hold on a second. Hold on. Gain some
Right.
appreciation. Understand where her mentality is at. Think about your approach. Think about it.
Yes.
Assess. How was your day today? Did you
Mm-hmm.
just quit your job? Did you
Mm-hmm.
get some bad news? Like assess. And then, okay, I'd like to share this. But we have this kind of false belief that we got to speak to it right this instant, even though that might be the worst time in the world to do it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guess what? We're talking about women's mental health, and it's not all tied up in like the not just tied up in the hormones and things that women go through, but there's also other things that happen with women outside of that, and a lot of things. Like another one is work life balance. Work life balance. I mean, men go through that too, but women go through that. Just want to read something quickly. Many women juggle multiple roles, including career, family, and household responsibilities, which can lead to stress, burnout, and feelings of inadequacy.
Wow.
It's a huge one.
Wow.
It's a huge one. Because you already have the stress, if you are, have a career outside of the home, the stress from work, and then you come home, and then a lot of times you're dealing with more stress.
Yeah.
And they just feel like, oh, am I even doing a good job? Like, I can see that inadequacy piece being huge for many women, in trying to juggle all the things that they deal with. But please put in the chat your questions and maybe even comments. Women that are resonating with what we're sharing, for sure. But that's a huge thing. But again, taking that self-care. So really, what I said about that hormonal piece, that needs to go with you throughout your entire life at every stage. You need to be doing that self-care for yourself, especially, you're working, you are a mom or a wife, and you're coming home. Now, this is at that stage, you definitely need to do your self-care, because if you don't do self-care during that time, you will have spent every day of every week of many, many years just giving to others. And you can't sit around. I mean, Mother's Day is great. Everybody remembers. Like, I have so many flowers in my house. I told Ivor last night, I was like, it looks like it's a funeral or something. No, in a good way. All the flowers are so pretty. I love them. I was just saying that because all of the kids, and then I just got so much flowers, which it's beautiful. I love the flowers are beautiful, but you know how people send plants when somebody passes. But
It could have been a wedding,
like,
Asante.
okay, a wedding, a funeral. I'm sorry. I know funerals was a lot of flowers too. But anyway, when it's nice to get all of that on Mother's Day, I love it. And for my birthday and those times, but you can't wait for other people to pour into you. I mean, you have to be doing that daily. And then when they do it, it's like, oh, because you'll have these big gaps of time if you're not taking self-care and you're, maybe not getting poured into as often, but pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. That's for every stage of life.
What does you pouring into yourself look like?
For me?
Yeah.
This is going to sound so basic, but I'll tell you, it's doing absolutely nothing. And I love it. I'll be honest. I love my absolutely nothing days. They're not that many, but Sundays usually, honestly, I try to do absolutely nothing.
Saturdays?
Sunday.
Oh, Sunday.
No, Saturday
yeah,
is not
yeah.
my absolutely. I'm a pastor's wife. I'm not
Right.
my absolutely.
But that's why
day.
I was really, I was like, please explain. Yeah.
And the days have changed, and things have changed in every season. Like right now, I've been able to build my practice so that I'm off on my off days. Really are Thursdays and Sundays, and not that I'm doing absolutely nothing on Thursdays, but I'm just not working. So I'm able to I've been able to schedule it. I don't. Because Fridays and Saturdays or Sabbaths to us are not my off days. I'm worshiping God, but they're not my off days. I'm actually preparing for Sabbath, and then I'm doing Sabbath, and it's a whole thing. So, but everybody is going to look different. Like, just do what works for you. And I just love those days, because even though I'm not absolutely doing nothing on Thursdays, I'm still doing the things that I like to do on Thursdays.
100%.
And then Sunday, I will do absolutely nothing and enjoy that completely. Mm-hmm. So that's my self-care. But again, everybody's is different. People have different hobbies that they love to do. Do that, whatever you need to do. All right.
No, that's
This
cool.
is definitely somebody from the Caribbean. And I think this is Janice. And tell me if I'm wrong, Janice, because she said good night. And I just love that. I remember the first time I heard that was in college. I had a good friend. She was from Trinidad, and she was like, she would call, she'd be like, oh, good night. And I'm like, you're saying hi. But in the Caribbean, they do that. All right. She says, when I was young in primary school, I used to get teased for going to church on Saturday. Now as an adult, I feel it affects me in sharing my faith with others and being rejected, advised. Oh, well, I'll let you take a shot at that, Dr. White, since I've
Sure.
done so much talking
Yeah, no,
recently.
it's all good. But no, because I love I love the train that you're on. I
Okay.
used to get teased for going to church on Saturday. Now, as an adult, I feel it affects me in sharing my faith with others in being rejected. Well, I think I think part of what part of how I'm almost tempted to try to tie it into what you're saying, Sister Tante, but I was just talking to someone about how cool it is to be in a community, because it's one thing to celebrate the Sabbath on your own. Sister Tante, you just mentioned how much you enjoy nothing, like building a vacuum, building a period in time where you're doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what the Sabbath is about. Well, what's interesting about Adventism is being in a community where others are being intentional about reducing their output. And so, Janice, while it might be a struggle, I could view it as okay. I feel funny about the fact that I was teased. Then that's a legitimate view. It hurts, and dealing with that. But then the flip part is the enjoyment of being part of a community where we all position ourselves to say we are reducing product production during this time, and we're all doing it. Because imagine how lonely it would be if when you have that day it's only you doing it, but instead there's a whole community of people, so that there's a good chance when you reach out to somebody, they're on their Sabbath as well. So
Mm.
I just want to highlight that yeah, there it can be frustrating getting teased, because I one genius children have is the ability to find your insecurity and explode it. Okay?
Mm.
Kids just have that ability.
Mm-hmm.
But then as adults, and as we get control of our brain, then we get to say, okay, what am I going to divert my focus to? And how am I going to contextualize, what's the story I'm going to tell myself, what's the story I'm going to tell myself about this
Mm.
issue? You get to write the story. Your story could be, this is an awful experience, or in my story, this saved my life. This experience absolutely saved my life. So I would reframe. Clint, homie, Clint said, do you think, due to the nurturing nature of a lot of women, that codependency could become a natural problem or a potential one? All right, sis, you got your
Mm.
break. Now come on back.
Do you think, due to the nurturing nature of a lot of women, that codependency could become a natural problem? No, I don't think it's a natural. I don't every. I mean, yes, women are very nurturing naturally. I mean, if a woman is not nurturing, like if a child comes out of, and I've seen this, so I'm very shocked because this doesn't happen. This is very small percentage of women, but when a woman is not nurturing to their child or two children, I'm very shocked because women were like, even if it's not our kid, we're just like, oh, the baby's so cute, or oh, can I hold the baby? Or oh, I mean, it's just in us. So yes, women are naturally very nurturing. But it's like, does that make us prone to be codependent? No, I wouldn't say that. I think other things have to play a factor, just like I don't think that's a man or woman thing. But other characteristics that have to play a factor for women and for men to become codependent. What are your thoughts, Dr. White?
Um, so codependency, just so that we're all hopefully on the same page, it's like
Mm-hmm.
um, codependency is doing for someone what they need to do for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's healthy for us to I think it's healthy for us to consider what we're talking about in the light of these are good things rather than these are bad things. Meaning,
Right.
um, we kind of touched on how women like to think versus how men like to think,
Right.
and I think both thinking styles have their virtues. Number one, and number two, when you're trying to describe 8 billion people on a planet and think that a sentence is really going to meaningfully describe either one, then you can see how there are going to be a number of exceptions to the rule. So let's throw out that qualifier. But all that said,
Mhm.
I think that nurturing is incredibly helpful in that a
Yes.
lot of mothers, when everybody else wanted to give up on the kid, mom was like, one more time, one more time,
Absolutely.
one more time,
Absolutely.
one more time. We think the diagnosis is over. There's no hope. Mom's like, no, no, there's hope. There's hope. I'm going to
Mhm.
hold on to this. Obviously, sometimes that can be a problem, but
Mhm.
how many times has it rescued? Has it
Absolutely.
rescued
Mhm.
something? Rescued a
Mhm.
cause, rescued a person, rescued an issue. So that let's focus, let's celebrate how that nurture has been so tremendously positive in its impact
Mhm.
on society.
Uh,
Um, did it
yes.
become, yeah,
And
I
I want to,
mean,
oh, go, oh, yeah. I was
yeah,
just going to read it, but then, yes, Nurse Florence says the nurture of nurturing women are the saving grace of humanity. And as you were talking, she wrote that, and I was like, oh, the two shall be one. Like, I was like, great couples think alike.
shout out, honey, you're missed. You're missed. Yeah,
Oh, that's cute. She remembered. Yes. Happy Mother's Day to you, Florence.
good
Hope
to see
you
you.
and your mom had a great Mother's Day together. But yes, I do love what you shared, Dr. White, and Florence, what you shared as well. Like, yeah, the nurturing
Right.
women are the saving grace of humanity. And it's very, I don't want to say very rare. I mean, it happens. It's possible. And usually if a woman is not, um, lacks the nurturing, aspects, some trauma can affect that. It can affect it. Sometimes, I mean, things in life can affect that. If they were not, did not have that emotional love and support as a child, it's difficult for them. I'm saying, because I've definitely seen people go through so much and they become amazing mothers.
No, for sure.
So it's definitely not, oh, you went through so much and you don't know how to love your children. No, no, no. I've seen many times the opposite of that. Because I wasn't treated the way I should have been treated, I'm going to treat my child the way that I should have been treated. I see that actually a lot. I see that more than I see the other way around. But it is possible that the way someone is treated can affect a woman. It can affect them in a way that they are just not that nurturing as automatically as a lot of women are nurturing.
Yeah.
So yes, we still want your questions and your comments. I kind of wanted to take. I want to see what you guys' thoughts were, when we talked about that work-life balance,
Oh,
and just what your experience has been with that, because
definitely.
the
Definitely not.
anxiety and depression and stress that a
Yeah.
lot of women go through are just coming from right there. The work and home, and being a mother, being a wife, being a daughter, being a sister. I mean, you're in a family unit where everybody needs something from you. And again, if you don't pour into yourself, I mean, hopefully they're pouring into you as well, but you just can't depend upon that all the time, because unfortunately it doesn't always happen. So what are your thoughts? We would like to hear some of your questions and thoughts about that before we move on to the next.
Yeah,
Um,
that's definitely not the one to gloss over. I think right now my wife
yeah,
is
that's
like,
why I came back to
yeah,
it.
my wife is like, preach, sister. As someone who's flanking a husband, mother-in-law, a daughter, her own professional needs,
Whew.
own personal
Yeah.
needs, and that not being a unique experience as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's there. There is definitely a strong risk of burnout.
A s-
Strong risk.
strong risk of burnout. And yeah, most definitely. And you would be so happy. You don't know how many times I tell people about the beautiful no, and I give you credit every time. Maybe not by name. I'll say, yeah, a colleague of mine, or he said this. I always give you credit though. But I was just gonna, because I'm gonna say it again, knowing how to be able to balance the work life stress that women go through, learning how to say the beautiful no, learning how to say the beautiful no, even to the ones you love the very most, which are our children, and even your spouse. Sometimes you have to say a beautiful no. And the spouse needs to know, like, okay, her no was not ugly, it was beautiful.
Well, because
Encourage her beautiful no.
oh, I mean, because part of the beauty is when it's clear to both parties that, like, I'm not the person to do this.
Right.
Um, and it's an added bonus if they get it, but you definitely want to get it. You
Yeah.
definitely, it's nice for you to examine it until it becomes clear to you, I'm not the person to do this. I'm
Mm-hmm.
I don't have, whether it's the emotional resources or the physical resources or the, like, no, I'm not the person to do this at this time. And when you can really embrace that and you feel like it's beautiful, now you don't have to deal with that guilt and that,
Mm-hmm.
and you can now better withstand the contempt, however
Mm-hmm.
micro it might be sometimes, because that's
Right.
what makes us agree to things we don't really agree to. Not, we don't want to deal with that micro contempt, and sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's macro,
Mm-hmm.
how come you can't help me, you help everybody else, and we don't even want to deal with that onslaught.
Right.
But when it can be known, based on what you want done, based on your expectation of how it should be done, based on how important it is that it be done right,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the person to do that at this time.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
And I want to say, don't be afraid to do the beautiful no, always in a loving way. Let them down very easy. And I have to say, like, in my own life, when I tell my husband, we've been together long enough, almost 28 years, so he understands. And I say yes so much, or I do so much, that when I say no, he has to almost, like, not stand at attention, I don't think it's the right word, but almost just take note, like, okay, her cup is very full, she's telling me I no. And my children understand that too, because as moms, we're like more afraid to tell them no, because as mothers, again, we're nurturers, we always want to do everything for them. Like, from the time that you hear that you have conceived, you are trying to do everything for that child. Like, the 9 months, they're in your stomach, but you're trying to eat healthy for them. You're trying to do everything healthy so this baby will be okay. And then they come out, and then you're doing everything for this baby to get to the next stage. And then they do that, and then to the next stage, literally until you take your last breath, you're doing,
that's wild.
for your child. But to show up and be a great mom, you have to take care of yourself.
You have to. I think Florence summarizing, like, just what you're saying, the mental workload of being a wife, mother, social safety net is often overlooked, and that is painful. Yeah.
Yes.
So well said, honey. I'm sure
Yes.
you're speaking for someone else, not for you.
Because Dr. White does not overlook what you do, Florence, not by any
No,
means.
I definitely try not
He
to
appreciates you. He says that on here all the time.
immensely.
Yeah. And the things that we're talking about, and thank you for the comment too, but the things that we're discussing, when these things are ignored, women's mental health can go downhill,
Devastating. Devastating.
or they'll
Devastating.
turn to things that are not
Yeah.
good for them. They could turn to, drinking. I mean, I know many people on here, that's probably not the problem, but I'm saying, but in the world, they'll turn to drinking, or maybe some other vice that is not good, because they're just not filling their cup in the way that it should be filled.
Look
All
at what
right.
Patrice said.
We have, all right, Mrs. Delisser is here. Why does it become, hi, Patrice, why does it become a shock to family when you say no? Mercy. There's an unspoken expectation that mom will take care of it. It's exhausting. I mean, that right there, that should be a t-shirt.
Bars, man.
Because, yes, you're
Bars.
right. You are absolutely right. Why is that?
It's like, if my no is a surprise, there's a problem.
There's a problem. There's a
There's a
problem.
problem.
Mm-hmm.
There's a problem. No, that's
I,
deep.
that no, and it's absolutely true, Patrice. Thank you for stating that and asking it. And it is exhausting, absolutely. To be honest, we have to take a little of the blame. No, understand what I'm saying. We have to take a little bit of the blame because we haven't trained them. We trained them that we're always going to show up. We've trained them that I'm superwoman. I will be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? And we are super women. Okay. For the moms are super women. They just are Wonder Woman. I did that the other day with a client. I called her superwoman. I was like, that's not right. Wonder Woman. It's Superman and Wonder Woman. So anyways, we have always shown up for them as Wonder Women. And so they're just like, oh, it doesn't bother you. You like doing this. Well, actually, no. I mean, you do, but to a certain extent, you still need your time. So that's what I'm saying, Sister Patrice, that we almost have to train ourselves to say the beautiful no and to take that time, but also we're helping to train them. Be like, hey, I love you. I would love to do, I do all of these things, but I have to say no because I need to really take some time and care for myself. We just have to educate the people in our lives that we love the most. And then if they can't respect that, then there's a problem. If they can't see like, okay, mom actually needs this. So that she will be here with us for as long as possible. Meaning like, it's like, we don't want to. The stress or trying to be everything to everyone in your life can definitely cause a lot of stress on your body, which affects you mentally, but it also affects you physically.
I got a story for you because I remember, of course, I was, working and I would, of course, forget something at home. And so my wife would bring it and she was so happy to bring it. And it would happen and happen. And then eventually she just let me know it's so exhausting, And so sometimes you can experience it and not be sensitive to it. And of course, that cured my forgetting. Isn't that right, honey? It was instant cure. But I think like you guys will do your job so well that it can be lost on us, the cost to you.
Yes.
And if we become more sensitive to that cost, it would help us to be more responsible.
Yes. Okay. Somebody is saying, especially when you have been saying yes for many years, then Jesus starts changing us. We acquire boundaries and people and family can't control us anymore. That was my experience. Yes, definitely.
And that's Sugar Mech.
Sugar Mac, yeah.
Sugar Mac, 1168. Okay, Sugar. Okay. Okay. Clint, we're about to get an uprising up in here, man. We're starting a movement.
I know. They're like, boundaries. We're setting boundaries.
All these no's. No, not going to happen. No. What were you listening to?
Right. What I like to share with clients in general, but then specifically with women, that the beautiful no is not selfish. You're not being selfish. You are the self-care. Like, you should be like, look, you want me to continue to be a good wife to you, a good mom to you, a good grandmother, a good coworker. I need to do some self-care. That's how you show up and be the best. Because after you do your self-care, you're like, all right, I feel great. Like, how can I help you? Nice. It's like you're going to want to show up. You'll be excited to show up because you will have, your cup is full.
Absolutely.
So when your cup is full, you happily show up. All right. We're still taking your questions and your comments about our topic. We're just starting to get going. Not today. We're almost over, but in the next couple of weeks, this is what we're going to be talking about. So we're excited to
Definitely.
continue this conversation with all of you. And this is just a very important conversation to talk about
100%.
because women, we have a lot of stress. We have a lot of stress. I remember I went to this is years ago, probably, I don't know, 15, no, yeah, maybe closer to 20 years ago now. But I went to get a massage. Yes, it was a massage, or I thought it was the chiropractor. One of those, massage or chiropractor, can't remember where it was. And they were like, "Oh, I've never felt shoulders this tight." And I was like, "Really?" Because I'm carrying all my stress right here. And then I asked a massage therapist. She said, "Yeah, a lot of women do carry it there because we're just always so wound up." And because as like I said, when we're young and we're having the children, from the time we've conceived and we know we're pregnant, then we're concerned throughout the whole pregnancy. You know, we're happy, but we're still like, okay, is the baby healthy? Is it baby going to come out okay? And then the baby's born, like, okay, is the baby okay? Are he breathing through the night? Does it need food? And it never ever stops. And then they get older, and then I haven't even thrown the marriage into here. I'm just talking about kids, and then you throw the marriage and the part. There's so much stress. And then I didn't throw work into here. So there's work, kids, marriage. And it's just like, and I'm a nurturer. So I feel like I have to take care of everybody and I can never say no. Like we have to just sit down and process these things and consider these things.
And go ahead. I don't want to interrupt
No,
you.
I was just going to say all of those things not handled properly can equal the mental health issues that you may be experiencing at that time. And if not, then later on in life. Go ahead.
Well, it was so wild how, like you mentioned, well, my role as a wife, and then my role as a parent, and then my role for work. And it's like, by the time you cut up all the slices, there's nothing left over for you.
Yes.
Like there's nothing left over for you. And you wonder why you just kind of lose yourself.
Right.
All right. Deborah is up here trying to like get it started. She goes, what advice can you go to women? What advice can you give to women who like to compare themselves with men, mostly in the area of physical strength, example, lifting heavy things, when they think they are just being independent? Yes, Sister Tante, what advice can you give to those women?
I remember, this is funny, and Ivar reminds me of this all, like not all the time, but sometimes, like before we started dating, like I remember my apartment was on the second floor. Well, it had a flight of stairs. I mean, it wasn't terrible, but when I had groceries, it was like, oh, this is, more. And but I always had to do it because I was single, right? I had to do it. Of course I had to do it. And then he came over one day, or I think he showed up at the same time, and I had groceries in the car, and he's like, oh, I'll bring the groceries up for you. And me being the single independent woman that I had been, I mean, we had just started talking, but still I was like, oh no, I got it. I have it. And he was like even taken aback, like she didn't let me help her with the groceries, but I was just so used to doing it myself. So my point is, of course, I'm about to switch. My mindset is very different now. I'm not carrying anything, nothing. But my point is that we carry that mindset, that independent mindset, into our relationships, into our marriages, and we need to balance that out. I'm not telling women to just completely let yourself not be independent in any area of your life, but you're married now. So you have a helpmate, you have someone that's there to help you, and you're here to help him as well. So now it's funny. We get on an airplane. I have my heavy backpack, and I don't even like start to take it off. He's always behind me, and he just starts taking the backpack off, putting it up on the shelf, or I'm just saying, like, I never take the suitcase out of the car. I'm just not lifting heavy things. I can lift heavy things, but if he's right there, I'm like, oh, can you help me? Why not? He loves going to the gym to get strong. I was like, well, here you go.
Let's put good use to those muscles.
I mean, if he's not here, of course,
Right.
I will lift the heavy things. Okay. But I have a husband. Let him lift the heavy things now, which I didn't understand I was very independent. And I did carry that mindset into the early years of marriage, which was harmful. My point is saying that it was harmful on the marriage because I was like still so independent minded. I didn't understand completely the two shall be one. Let him help. He's a helper, helpmate.
I'm
I hope that
I'm gonna
helps.
dovetail off of that and just basically
Okay.
say, Deborah, my advice to those women is life is so hard. Life is
Yeah.
so hard that have no fear. You will be blessed with many opportunities to demonstrate your strength. Have no fear.
Right.
So when something comes along and someone can help, take the help. Because I assure you,
No.
coming right around the corner is another opportunity to validate your internal power. So
Yeah.
have no fear. Don't think, well, if I do, no, it's so hard. And Sister Tante, as helpful as Pastor Ivor is, you still probably have moments where you still have to lift the burden because that's the nature of life. It's so
Mm-hmm.
generous with opportunities where you have
Mm-hmm.
to be strong. When you get a moment to get a break, don't worry. Coming right around the corner will be another opportunity for you to demonstrate how strong you are.
Take a break. And I'm so little spoiled. Even when and if our adult children are around and he's not there, then I'll turn to them. Here, you help me.
Absolutely.
I'll be like, you carry this. I need help. I mean, and they don't mind doing that, but hey, let your children help you too. I mean, don't take advantage of them, especially depending on what the ages and stuff like that. But don't be afraid to ask for help, especially because as women, we do so much for them. It's okay to ask for help.
Right.
Paula, thank you for the question. This is definitely a question for your doctor because, but I am happy to hear that you are working with an OB because this is, for your hormones. But for those specific questions, definitely need to um, ask your doctor
Sorry, Paula.
because everybody's situation is different and they would know medically
Oh.
what is okay
My lover
to
said,
be able to
my
have
lover
it.
said, I'm spoiled by Dr. White. You too, Dr. White.
Let's see. Nurse Florence says women aren't taught to communicate that our human needs are equally as important as everyone else's. We need to respect our boundaries as others respect theirs.
Well said.
Absolutely.
Well
Absolutely.
said. Well said. Yeah, what is
Yes.
that about? Why what is I wonder if that goes back to this nurturing thing that Clint, was talking about where
Mm-hmm.
like kind of ingrained is that how women are cultured where they derive value from their ability to contribute? Is that the idea?
Right. Or is it bad? Almost like well, that they would feel bad if they say the beautiful no. They don't look at it as the beautiful no. They feel like they're not taking care of those, that are in that they're supposed to be taking care of their children, their husband. Like they don't have the right to say
Right.
no.
That's the point. Like, because if you think the no is ugly, you're gonna have a hard time dispensing it. You're gonna have a hard
Mm-hmm.
time delivering it. But when you
Mm-hmm.
convince yourself, this is beautiful. I'm the wrong person. I'm not the person to do
Yeah.
this. I think it will
Mm-hmm.
deal with that natural bent you have to being a nurturer. You'll
Mm-hmm.
realize I'm
Mm-hmm.
actually nurturing the situation by not stepping into it. Because have you encountered people who don't say no to anything, and so you can't count on them? You can't count on them.
Because they've said the ugly yes too much.
Yeah.
Yo, absolutely.
Well, the ugly yeses, at least you put parameters on the yes. Okay, I'll do it, but I need money for gas and I need this and I need that. That's the ugly thing. Like their yeses are their
That
yeses are
yes isn't ugly
beautiful.
to me. That yes is kind of pretty to me. the ugly the ugly yes is when you really should be saying no, but you're saying
Come on,
yes.
man.
I don't know. That's how I always took
Right,
it. I've been teaching people
right,
that.
right, right.
So I don't know if that's how you
Well,
meant
well,
it.
beautiful no. Well, this is why this totally is not for me. An ugly yes is I'll say yes, but I'm gonna put parameters on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put parameters on it. So I'm gonna need at least 6 months, or I'm gonna need this, or I'm gonna need some compensation.
Mm-hmm.
So that feels ugly even when you say yes. But even your
Yeah.
yeses should be ugly.
there's man, we're close to our time, but man, we have like 10 seconds. There's something, I mean, I'm like, maybe I should just hold this till next week, but I just want to tease it a little bit
Jesus.
right now. Because of that question that, well, actually what Nurse Florence said, like women don't feel like they're allowed to say no. And this is when we're talking about within a marriage. So I'm taking it here. I'm taking it sexually.
Okay.
Okay. I'm taking it there because this is also stress for women too. And I'm not saying that, trust me, let me preface it with this. I subscribe homework or prescribe, I shouldn't say prescribe homework for my clients. And a lot of times for married couples, I will have to say, you need to have sex at least 2 or 3 times within this week before I see you again. Meaning because that's such a healthy thing that married couples in a healthy relationship need to be doing. Okay. Now, with that said, so I said that, so I'm saying that healthy sex life is huge and important for a marriage. It's huge and important. However, when women may say no but feel guilty, or because they're being made to feel guilty like they're doing something wrong, and not because you're you're mad at him or whatever, those type. No, when things are, but you're just not feeling well or your energy is not there. And it could be some of those hormonal things that we were talking about earlier. And women have gone through life just not being understood. That can also cause some mental health issues and marital issues because the woman is just always being made to feel bad about saying no, even though she may think cognitively, no, I do want to be with you, but I just don't feel like I can do that because the hormones are not balanced.
This is dope. What I would just say to that is, number one, especially as sex is portrayed in society, it's very often male oriented. And so the needs of the men is kind of like what's kept central. And go figure, she's not going to be that interested. Go figure. If it's really just kind of focused on one. And so I think as men, one of the things we can do is buck that and make sure we're more attentive, and
Yeah.
I think that'll, go figure, that might increase interest. And I think that's a really important component to this. The other piece
Yes.
is you're opening up the door to sexual violence. Like, there are
Oh yeah.
people who they don't know that it's rape, even in the marital context. If she says no, it is
Yeah.
no.
It's no. It's
There are
no.
people who don't
Yeah.
understand that. And when you understand, when you empower that person with the power to say no, well, now you have to work for it. Well, what would put you in the mood? And you're more inclined to, again, and also recognize, I think we said this last week, that sex starts way before the bedroom,
Oh,
my
way
mom's
before
my
the day before.
she's like, the week before. Remember what you said to me?
Treat me right for a whole week, and then
So the brothers are like, I don't know, man.
I.
But no, Florence taught me this. It's just that, like, well, how you talk to me, beforehand, and
Yeah.
if you were kind and if you were
Yes.
attentive, and those are things that
Right.
help. So I think that's an important caveat, because as guys, we pursue we pursue sex.
Oh yeah.
um you tell me if you agree. Like, women of course like sex as well, but they want the attention, they
Mm-hmm.
want the emotional connection.
Motion.
um and if they're not getting that, then of course they're not as incentivized. Now, we
Right.
of course don't stand for weaponizing sex, obviously. We don't,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
No.
don't do that. But
Mm-hmm.
sex is an example of the bigger relationship, and the importance of
Right.
mutual attentiveness to each other. It
Mm-hmm.
works in sex,
Mm-hmm.
and it works in the wider relationship. It's critical to be mutually attentive.
Yes. Yes. Well, guys, we have this is a little teaser. We might get a little bit more into this next week because this is a huge, huge
Yes,
one.
ma'am.
Excuse me, huge one. But we are going to continue our conversation about women and their mental health, the different things that can affect their mental health. So definitely share tonight's program again on your social media with some friends. Bring a friend back with you next week as we continue this discussion.
Absolutely.
Look forward to seeing you then. Have a good
Take care.
evening. Thank you, Dr.
Always a
White.
pleasure.
See you next
Take
week.
care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.